Hello and welcome back to Animated Literacy. This is lesson number 53 from the Story Song and Action book. In our last lesson, we learned about Woody Woodchuck, who goes out into the cookie forest looking for good cookies. So sometimes he has to use binoculars when they're way up high in the cookie tree. So you can make your binoculars like this with two O's. Look up into the cookie tree and go, for looking. Or what did he do when he couldn't reach any of the cookies? Woody shook that cookie tree, and what happened to the biggest, ripest, roundest cookies? They came out of the tree and hit him right in the stomach, and what did he say? Ugh. So for Woody Woodchuck sound, you can either grab your stomach and go, or you can look through your binoculars and go, ugh. So we're going to be drawing some things with Woody Woodchuck sound today. My favorite thing that has Woody Woodchuck sound in it is a book. Because books can make us laugh, and they can give us lots of information. They can make us feel good, and they can take us all sorts of different places that we could never go in real life on our own. So this is a book called Dog, and I like this book because after we draw, we always like to label our picture and then put in some adjectives to describe the picture, and this book is filled with adjectives. So it starts out reading like this. And you can say it after me. Fluffy dog, fluffy dog. Scruffy dog, scruffy dog. And you can see he's kind of messy. He's sort of scruffy. Droopy dog, sags. And this is a basset hound that's kind of droopy. Perky little puppy dog, wag, wag, wag. Perky little puppy dog, wag, wag, wag. And you can even wag the tail on this dog. And this book is just filled with tons of adjectives, and we used it when we were labeling our pictures for Lulu Moose to find ways to describe the pictures that used Lulu's sound. And so all of these adjectives are located in that one book. So I'm sure we'll be coming back to that book again and using more adjectives for different pictures. Here's two Skybrary books about books. This one is called The Library. And so it talks about how you can go to the library and you can borrow a book, read the book, enjoy it, take it back, and then borrow a different book. This book is called I Am the Book. And it has lots of poems about books. This is my favorite poem from that book. And it's because it kind of reminds me of when our daughter was little. When we took vacations, and we were driving in the car, places we'd never been before, we'd look into the back seat, and guess what Kimberly was doing? She's sitting there reading her book. And we'd have to say, Kimberly, put your book down, look out the window, we won't be here again. But that's a good problem to have, that she liked books so much she could hardly put them down, and she still loves books today. This is another great book about books, and it's called Just Open a Book by P.K. Hallinan. And it talks about all of the different places that a book can take you. So it starts out, just open a book and begin to read through the world of enjoyment that's waiting for you. And there's those kids waiting for that whole world to open up of all the places they can go. You can take a long trip in an old pirate ship, or walk in the sand where the pyramids stand. And here's the pyramids that you can visit in a book. You can go to the moon, and then, if you please, you can see for yourself if it's made of green cheese. And remember when we did Aiken Drum and we made his hair out of noodles? Just open a book. It's all you need do to make your most fabulous wishes come true. So if you read this book, you can read about all the different places that a book can take you. And so the first picture that we're going to draw today is a picture of a book. So let's take out our pens, put the cap on the other end, take your paper, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the spine of our book. Now the spine is this strip that goes right along the back side of the book. So to make the spine, I'm going to make a straight line down here. Then I'm going to come over a little bit and make another straight line that parallels that line. Then at the top, I'm going to put a straight line connecting the two lines and do the same thing at the bottom. Then I'm going to put a little curve at the top for the pages. Now this next part can be just a little bit tricky, but if you have a problem, you can always go back and draw these over again. I'm going to make an angle line coming up for the back cover of my book. Then I'm going to come up to the top here and make another angle line coming up and try to make it the same length and parallel to this line. Then I'm going to make another line down, straight down, just like I did here, to connect those two lines. So there's the back cover. Now we're going to make the front cover of the book. So I'm going to come down here again, and just like I did before, I'm going to angle up. Then I'm going to come up here and angle up again and try to make those lines the same distance apart so they're parallel. And then I'm going to make a straight line down parallel to the spine. I'll need to make that one a little bit longer. Now, what kind of book could we make here? We're going to make this a book that has Woody Woodchuck's sound in it. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here for a letter and do the rhyme in the word first. So I'm going to write Woody Woodchuck's 2 letters of O-O right in the middle. Then it's going to end with a kangaroo's sound with a K. So if I put and k together, what do I get? Ook. Ook. What kind of a book could end in ook? If I put a C in front for Kimmy Kangaroo, we'll find out. So if I put C in front of ook, what do I have? K, ook, cook. So this is going to be a cookbook, and now I'm going to write the word book down here. Now book uses the same rhyme as cook, so those 2 words rhyme. So we're going to start with our B with a straight line and a circle, and then we're going to write the rhyme of our book. And how did we write the rhyme? K. So the same rhyme that we used here. So the only thing that changed was the first letter in the book. Now, who would use a cookbook? A cook would use a cookbook. So next we're going to draw a picture of a cook over here. So I'm going to start my cook with 2 circles for eyes. Then I'm going to give a pupil with a dot and leave a little bit uncolored. Then I'm going to give my cook a nose with a curve like a C. Then I'm going to give my cook a smile, because he likes to cook. Now we're going to make the head for our cook. So I'm going to come out a little bit from the eye, leave some space up here at the top, and out here, and then come back around right underneath his mouth for his jaw. Now I'm going to give him a curve for his hair. And here. So there's my cook's head. Now a cook often wears a special kind of a hat. So I'm going to make the hat with 2 straight lines coming down to his hair. Then I'm going to make a curve on top of his head like that. Then I'm going to take, and from there I'm going to come around with this sort of puffy looking hat. So there's our cook's head and his hat. Now we're going to make his chin, or his neck rather. So I'm going to give him a triangle there. Now a cook often wears an apron, so if they spill stuff when they're cooking, it doesn't mess up their nice clothes that they're wearing. So we're going to make an apron by coming right next to that angle line with 2 straight lines, short straight lines down, and then we're going to connect them. Now an apron has straps to hold it up, so we're going to make the straps here. I'm going to make a straight line down just like I did on this side, and a straight line down on this side. Now we'll come down with the apron. So here we'll flare out just a little bit, so it's almost straight down, but not quite. Then we'll make the bottom of the apron. And now we're going to make his shoulders. So we'll come back up here and curve, and then come straight in. Curve, straight in on this side. And now our cook needs some arms. So I'm going to come from the outside of his sleeve here down with a curve. Outside of the sleeve here. So there's his 2 arms. Now what is he missing? He needs some legs and feet. So I'm going to come down here with 2 lines and then a short line in the middle. And now he needs his feet. So I'm going to come with a curve here and then up to here, a curve here and up to here. And there's our picture of a cook. What do you hear first in the word cook? Just like here, we've already written the word cook, so we'll just write it again. So what's the first sound? K, for catching. What's the next sound in cook? O is for Woody Woodchuck, so there's our 2 O's. And what's the last sound in cook? K. So this is a cook. Now, if a cook makes food that you really like, you might call him a good cook. So let's put an arrow pointing to cook, and then let's write the word good to describe our cook. So everybody say good. G, g. What do you hear first? G for gliding. So we start that with a circle, straight line down and a hook. What's the next sound in good? Good. O is for Woody Woodchuck. So there's those 2 O's again. And what's the last sound in good? Good. D. Dancing. So our circle and our straight line. And now that's pointing to our cook. So this is a good cook. Now, when I was growing up, we especially liked it when there was a truck that used to come around and stop in front of our house. There was a bakery truck. And so the cooks that made things for that truck were called bakers. And this is a book about trucks by Donald Cruz, where he wanted you to know what his book was about. So he wrote that great big word truck on the front. So we're going to draw a kind of truck that used to come to our house. So I'm going to come over here and make 2 circles for the wheels on my truck. Then I'll make a little circle inside each one. Then we'll make the frame of the truck. So I'm going to come out the back a little bit, connect my 2 circles, and then come out the front. Now, the front of the truck has a grill, so that we're going to make the grill with a straight line up, and then it has these vents to cool off the engine. Then it has a hood so that the engine can be down underneath the hood. So I'm going to angle up a little bit for the hood. Then it has a cab so that the driver can sit in the cab. So I'm going to come straight up, straight over a little bit, straight down, and then connect back to my hood with a nice square. Then he has a steering wheel to hold on to, so we'll just make an angle line up and then an angle line for the wheel, like this. So now we're going to make the back and the roof of our truck. So I'm going to come straight up and then over and connect to the cab. Now if you want to know what's inside that truck, we'll draw a picture. So in this truck, we're going to have some good cookies. And my favorite are chocolate chips. So we're going to put some chocolate chip cookies on the side of this truck. So I'm going to put a nice big circle for a chocolate chip cookie. Put some little dots in it for the chips. Make another circle and some little dots. And another circle and some little dots. So those are cookies. So now in order to write the word cookie, cookie starts with the word cook, and we've already written the word cook 2 times, so we're going to write it a 3rd time. So cook started with C for catching, K. Then it had our 2 O's for Woody Woodchuck, K, and then what did it have on the end? K for Kimmy Kangaroo. So that says cook. Now how do we turn the word cook into cookie? We need something that says E on the end. And one of the ways that we can spell E is with an I and an E. So I'm going to put an I and an E on the end. And what does that word say? Cookie. Now, this truck has another word that has Woody Woodchuck sound in it. What's on top of the engine? The hood. So let's write the word hood. What do you hear first in hood? And how do we spell that? H for hippie hippo humming. What's the next sound in hood? Hood. O is for Woody Woodchuck. So now we've got huh, and what do you hear on the end? Hood. Hood. D. D for Daisy Dragon dancing. So let's put that in a circle and tie the string on. Now we learned about Lulu Moose, who uses the same two O's for her sound, but her sound is wiggling a loose tooth and going, ooh. So how do you know which one to use? Well, we don't have a cookie, we have a cookie, so it uses You have to try it and then just see which one makes sense. If you used ooh here, it wouldn't be a cook, it would be a kook. Now a kook is somebody who acts crazy all the time. And so our cook isn't kooky, he makes cookies. But when we do roof, it can either be a roof or it can be a roof. So sometimes it doesn't matter whether you use ooh or and sometimes it really makes a big difference. So let's write the word roof or roof for our truck. What's it start with? R. R for riding. What's the next sound? Either or ooh, and it really doesn't make too much difference. So we'll put our two O's, and you can either do it with Woody Woodchuck sound or you can do it with Lulu Moose's sound. Roof. What do you hear at the end? Roof. F for fishing. So let's tie our string to the roof. Now we're going to do one more picture. Our cook, when he's cooking, might need to stir his food, and so he has a spoon. And to keep the kitchen neat, he might hang that spoon on a hook, and to hold the hook up, it's going to be screwed onto a piece of wood. So we're going to draw a hook, hang a spoon from it, and screw it onto a piece of wood. So let's see how we're going to do that. Let's find a nice space, and I've got a good space over here, so we'll do it over here. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to make a curve like this to start my hook. Then I'm going to come back up where I started, make a point, and then follow around like so. Now we're going to start the spoon, and the spoon is going to look like it's hanging from the hook. So I'm going to make a straight line here and add a little bit of a curve. Then we're going to start the handle of the spoon. So I'm going to come back a little bit from that dark spot with a straight line, skip over the top of the hook, and another straight line down. Then to finish the handle on the spoon, I'm going to come around and down so that that dot's kind of in the middle of the handle. Now we need to make the part that you can stir and hold food in. So I'm going to come out and around like so, out and around like so, and just add a little curve for my spoon. Now we need to have the rest of our spoon, so we're going to skip over the top of the handle and make two straight lines sticking out, and then you can make a little curve at the end. Now we need the wood that's going to be holding it up. So I'm going to make a straight line down here, come back up, skip over the top of my hook, straight line here, and then kind of make a rectangle coming down and around. And I can put 4 dots for screws to hold it onto the wall, and then some little lines for the grain in the wood. Now, hook starts with what sound? The same sound as hood. So how do we spell that? H for hippie hippo. What's the next sound in hook? Hook. O for Woody. Hook. What's the last sound in hook? K for blowing kisses. So we can put hook in our circle. And how are we going to write wood? Wood starts with a sound that we've used, but we haven't learned the story and song for yet. Here's Woody Woodchuck's sound. Or, I'm sorry, Winky Walrus's sound. And he's at the wishing well, and he's washing his whiskers. So go like this and wash your face and go whoa for washing. And he makes his sound with a W. So we're going to start with an angle line like this, and then another angle line next to it, and go wood. What do you hear next? Again. And what do you hear at the end of wood? Wood. D. D for dancing. We'll tie the string to the wood. So now on your own, you can go back and add more arrows like we did for good and describe the things that we've drawn. And you can look at the chart and see if there's some other things that you can draw that has Woody Woodchuck's sound in it. Now we're going to put Woody Woodchuck into a song. So this is a new song. And I like to put the songs that I use with my class into a book like this so that I can put on the recording and they can take their finger and they can sing along. So here's what this song sounds like, and I'll point to the words while you listen to it.
If you miss me and you're looking around and you can't find me anywhere, just climb up into my tree house. I'll be playing unfair. I'll be playing unfair. I'll be playing unfair. Just climb up into my tree house. I'll be playing unfair.
So this is a book about sometimes when you might just want to be by yourself. And where do you go to be by yourself? Here's the frame for our song. So I'm going to point to the words, and you can point to them on your paper and then sing it back to me. So the first line goes like this. If you miss me and you're looking around. Can you sing that? If you miss me and you're looking around, and you can't find me anywhere, and you can't find me anywhere. So where are they going to find you? Just come on into my... Where might you go to be alone? Now, a lot of times when I want to be alone, I might go into my bedroom. So let's write bedroom there. What's the first sound in bed? B. B for bowing. What's the next sound? Be. E for exercising. What's the next sound? D. Bed. So that's the first half of our word, and this is called a compound word because it's made up of two different words. So this says bed. Now we need to write room. What's the first sound in room? R. R for writing. What's the next sound? Ooh, for wiggling our loose tooth. So we need our two O's. And what's the last sound? Room, moving your magic mop. Just come on into my bedroom. I'll be reading. What would you be reading in your bedroom? What can we put there? I'll be reading books there. So now we need to write the word book. So what does it start with? B. B for bowing. What's the next sound? B. Or for looking or for getting hit in the stomach with the big cookie. B. What's the last sound in book? Book. Blowing kisses for Kimmy Kangaroo. So now let's go back and sing the whole thing. If you miss me and you're looking around and you can't find me anywhere, just come on into my bedroom. I'll be reading book. Oh, we'd be reading books, wouldn't we? So what does it have to have on the end? We forgot to put our S. I'll be reading books there. So what do you need a picture of up here at the top? You need a picture of you. And where are you going to be? In your bedroom. And what are you going to be doing in your bedroom? Reading books. So draw a picture up at the top, and then you can label the parts of your picture and describe the parts. And then I'll share with you next time how I finished this page for my page for it. So I hope you enjoyed drawing and labeling with Woody Woodchuck sound today, and practice those words over and over and over again. And in our next lesson, we'll learn another character so we can do more drawing and labeling and learn lots more words. So hope to see you then.